Yeah, it's just another podcast. Gonna be picking it out. Yeah, it's just another podcast. Gonna be picking it out. No telling what kind of shit we're gonna talk about. Yeah, cause we're just picking it out. Hey, y'all.
Yeah.
My name is Andrew Pope. I appreciate y'all tuning back in with me every week to Picking It Out. And real excited this week. We got a guy here that he's on one of my and Dana's favorite shows ever. Not just right now. I think the writing, the editing, the direction, everything is this cinematography, however you say that, is like the best. Ozark. And so we're excited to be talking to Kevin L. Johnson today. Plays on that show. How you doing, Hoss?
What's going on, man? Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, man. Thanks for doing it. We was just talking about his guitar hanging on the wall there, and he was telling me about how much of a guitar maestro he's become.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just insane. I
Yeah.
can play it without my fingers. It's insane.
Uh, where'd you get that guitar? Have you had it a while?
Um I got it so I live in Georgia. I got it, I don't know, I can't remember where. It's like maybe 10, 15 minutes away from where I live. Like North Georgia. Um but yeah, man, I got it. I'm going to go back to learning how to play at some point. It's just it's so it can get so irritating. Like I can only go for 30 minutes because I'm just so irritated by it. And I count down the minutes. Like I'll be like, "All right, Siri, give me 30 minutes." And I'm waiting for the 30 minutes to be over. So it's like, "All right, cool. I got my 30 minutes in. Nice." But that was months ago.
Yeah. So you just got the notion and wanted to learn how to play in your spare time?
Yeah, I thought it'd be a fun thing to do, during the pandemic. And I mean, so I played it a little bit, but yeah, it just got frustrating.
Well, keep at it, man.
I
There's
know, I know. People say just keep at it, and it gets easier.
I mean, man, I took piano lessons when I was like 5 or 6, and I don't even remember why. I don't know if I asked somebody, my mom or somebody, or they just put me in them because they wanted me to learn. I don't know.
Hmm.
Um, but I picked up a guitar when I was 14, and I just kind of already knew where stuff was at
Wow.
uh, based on the sound. So I can't read music. I play by ear. And I think,
Okay.
a lot of people, a lot of famous musicians, man, play by ear and they can't read music, oddly enough.
That's pretty incredible.
It really is. It's a natural ability I think you got to have, but also you do have to kind of learn. There's a learning curve even for that. But
It
yeah,
takes
just,
a good amount of like listening, right? I mean, just like in acting, you're listening to your scene partner. When
yeah,
it comes to playing guitar or any musical instrument, you definitely have to listen to the note.
yeah, for sure. You talked about you're in outside of Atlanta somewhere.
Yeah, I live in Clarkston, Georgia, close to, well, technically we live in Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Oh
That's
yeah.
the address, but we're more in Clarkston. Like I don't know how it works, but like yeah, so technically we're in Stone Mountain.
It's how long have you been there?
I moved to Georgia. I mean, I was born in Savannah, Georgia. but
Okay.
I was only there for like 2 years, so I really don't remember anything other than the fact that we got robbed a couple times. So my dad was like, "All right, well, we're moving." Uh, so I grew up in Lake Wiley, South Carolina, and
Oh,
then yeah, and then I went to Clemson for my undergrad, and then I moved
roll
back
tide.
home. Congratulations, by the
Uh,
way.
hey, I love Dabo, man. I
Oh,
respect the hell out of Dabo.
I know you do. My dad's like because he's a huge Clemson. My dad went to Clemson, which is why like I
Oh,
went to
cool.
Clemson. So I orange and purple, I bleed, no doubt. But
Yeah.
he was sidetrack. He was I think he was getting off a plane a couple years ago, and he saw a guy with an Alabama shirt on, and I think and the guy was like, "Enjoy Dabo while you got him, because he's coming home." And I was
You
like,
know, people
I mean,
saying
that's
that,
what
man,
they
but
say, man. I mean, it's he went to Alabama.
yeah. He
But
played for
he's
Gene
also
Stallings' '92 national championship team,
yeah,
man. Yeah,
but he's also like, if he stays at Clemson, he'll make
mhm,
his own legend. Like, he's already becoming Clemson's. I
right.
mean, before him, the big guy that we had was oh man, what was his name? He won our national championship back in like 1981, right before I was born.
Yeah.
But
I can't think of a guy's name either, and
but
normally I'm
Dab
like a football whiz.
but Dabo has definitely cemented himself as the best coach we've ever had. And yeah, it's been incredible.
Well, yeah, it really has, and, it's kinda like the Saban thing. He won after he won 2 or 3 national championships, in the off season every single year, there was talks of him going to Texas, and Miss Terry's looking at houses in Austin and all this crap, and I knew the
Even
whole
when he
time,
was
like,
at
he ain't going nowhere.
yeah, I mean, Alabama is, it's one of the top dogs. I mean, it's like Alabama, Clemson, and then I
Right.
think everybody else really right now.
It is.
So
But, he was building that thing at Alabama, and he would have been crazy, man, to go anywhere and risk messing that up.
yeah.
I know he don't really think about that, part of him kinda does. How could you not, Uh,
Didn't he coach at Michigan State?
Michigan State, yeah,
Yeah.
Kent State. Uh,
Oh wow, Kent State. Wow.
man, he's coached so many places, but when he
Tried
got
he
to
tried the NFL and he was like,
yeah,
that's not working.
that didn't work out too well, which we're glad that it didn't.
Oh, I bet you are.
Uh, but yeah, I love Dabo, and he has all my respect. There was an article that was written about him from a place we have here in Alabama, AL.com, and I thought it was kind of disrespectful. It was making it sound in not so many words like Dabo was a racist, and I knew
Oh,
that
yeah.
wasn't true. And man, I just the whole headline, it just jumped on me because I know that wasn't true, and I didn't even read further than the headline, and it was anyway. Yeah,
Yeah.
sidetrack. We
Yeah.
sidetrack a lot
We
here.
I know we were talking about where I grew up. I
Yeah,
mentioned Clemson. It's like, oh, Roll Tide.
yeah, that's all it took.
But yeah, I've lived here. I've lived in Georgia for like 5 years. I
Oh,
moved
cool.
from Charlotte, North Carolina
Okay.
To Georgia. Yeah.
Oh, I love Charlotte. I love North Carolina, South Carolina, all that. It's funny because, um, and you can tell me if this is true or not, but other friends of mine have said that a lot of pilots now are being filmed in Atlanta
Oh
because of
yeah.
the permits to shoot are so
Hmm.
much cheaper than L.A. and New York.
Yeah, they get a tax incentive to film in Atlanta. It's pretty generous. Yeah. That's why you have The Walking Dead, you got Ozark, you got Stranger Things, you got a lot of Netflix shows, The Resident on Fox, lots of pilots. I just had a good audition for a pilot. It would be my biggest role yet. I can't really say much about it, but I pretty excited if I get it. It would be nice. But yeah, a lot of stuff films here. So
Yeah, I feel like a lot of uh, actors are moving to that area. Um,
yeah, yeah, it makes sense. And Marvel, I forgot to mention Marvel, like all the new shows that are coming out on Disney, like
mhm.
most of them film here, like WandaVision, which is I definitely recommend if you haven't seen that. It's
I
such
haven't.
a unique show. Uh are you familiar with the Marvel characters at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So Wanda and Vision, like remember they were kind of a couple in the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
So so they get their own like spin-off, but it's very unique without giving anything away. It kind of takes place in a sitcom world.
Okay.
Um, and there's a reason it does, which it's kind of a slow burn. They're 5 episodes deep. The newest episode just came out today, and it's getting a lot of praise by critics, but then some people, I think it's like you either like it or you don't, because it's the first 3 episodes are literally sitcoms,
Mm.
and it's like little bits and pieces in the episodes, to figure out what's going on, but you still don't know what's going on until like episode 4. But
Oh, I love that. We
I
we watch stuff like that
definitely
all the
recommend it.
time.
But yeah,
Uh,
that film's here. Hawkeye, like his show is gonna films here. She-Hulk, um, what's it? Winter Soldier. Oh man, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So yeah, in other words, a lot of stuff shoots here for sure.
you mentioned Ozark. Did they film there a good bit too?
Oh yeah, everything films here.
Really?
Yep. I mean, maybe some of the establishing shots are shot in Missouri,
Mm-hmm.
um, but 99.9% of it's shot in Georgia.
Wow. I
Hmm.
didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I saw an article here a while back where the oh shit. I said I love the show, but I can't remember the name of the Bearcat Lodge. Is that right?
Oh, the Blue Cat Lodge.
Blue Cat Lodge
Yeah.
was sold. I mean, of course, that's not the real thing, but the building that they were using for that was sold.
Yeah.
Netflix had bought it and then they sold it, right?
Yeah, because we were done with the Blue Cat Lodge like storyline
Mm-hmm.
after season 2. So yeah, it just made sense. They were like, yeah, well, we don't need the building anymore. So there you go, guys.
How did you get that gig?
So I have an agent in the Southeast. I mean, I have an agent in LA now as well because of Ozark.
Mm-hmm.
But back in season 1, when I booked the role, I I got a breakdown. It said Sam Dermody, real estate agent in the Ozarks, affable, loves his dog, and that was the breakdown.
That was
Uh,
it.
and I sent in my tape because a lot of auditions, even before the pandemic, most like first round auditions are on tape.
Mm-hmm.
So I sent in my tape, felt good about it, and then I found out that they were going to go with somebody older. So I was like, all right, well, I've been in this business for like 10 years. I'm used to rejection.
Yeah.
And then I found out, like, just driving back to Charlotte for like an audition for or call back for a short film, my agent calls me. He's like, "Hey, they want to book you for Ozark." So I was like, "Wow." And like that's what's crazy is that's how a lot of stories you hear. Like it's like you're never their first choice,
Mm-hmm.
or or they don't know what they want at first and then they change their mind.
Yeah.
So a lot of luck's involved.
And at that point, when you got that audition, or when they, I guess the callback, they'd already cast everybody else, the main characters.
I'm pretty sure Jason Bateman, Laura Linney, Julia Garner, who plays Ruth, a lot of them were probably, well, I don't know. Actually, no, I didn't know Laura Linney was going to be cast when I got cast. Like they still hadn't found a Wendy yet.
Mm.
So that was a nice, pleasant surprise when I found out I was going to get to work with her.
Man, season 3, she really has some moments.
She's amazing.
My
It's it's
God.
it's a very like the women on the show are badasses. Like it's very female driven. You can see.
Absolutely are. And I like seeing that more because it kind of focused on Jason's character, up until really the last season, man. And, you know, like you said, I love seeing that because they're terrific actresses and they need to be, uh, have a deeper storyline revolving around their characters.
Oh yeah, and we got some good like women who are on the writing crew, and I think some people thought like because when we first started the show, you always want to compare it to another show so people are interested in it. So
Hmm.
obviously, what's the go-to? Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Um, so people expected Marty Bird to be Walter White,
Yeah.
whereas it ended up more of Wendy Bird
I
being
know.
Walter White. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love their evil genius between the two of them, and they can be just, against each other in the story, and then they're teaming up to go against the world or, to save their family,
Yeah.
and it still comes back to the family thing. I mean, it's just genius writing, I think.
Yeah. It was season 3 was funny with the therapy sessions. Like that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
that was that was great. And the woman who I can't for the life of me I don't know her name off the top of my head, but she is just was hilarious. Like so good.
Yeah. Y'all all were, man. And the lady
Thanks.
that played your mother, it was very natural. It feels
Oh,
real.
oh, Sharon. Yeah, yeah. She's a huge Alabama fan.
Really.
Yeah, yeah. I remember when we were shooting season 1, because we won the national championship against you guys in season
Yeah.
1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember we were going on set. I was like, because I watched it, at my parents' place because they live like right down the street, basically.
Okay.
I was like, man, I got to be on set the next day, and I was going to be shooting with Sharon, so and she's a
Mhm.
huge Alabama fan and a Georgia fan, but mainly Alabama, I think.
Yeah.
Um, but she's really sweet though. She was kind of happy that in a way that if they had to lose, they lost to
Yeah.
my team, who I had never seen them win the national championship until that year, like because I was born the year after, so I missed the cutoff on the first
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
it was it was an amazing feeling getting to celebrate with my dad,
Yeah.
seeing how excited he was when they won, and it was just amazing.
I get that because it comes from my granddaddy, really. I
Yeah.
mean, he was Bear Bryant, Alabama, Gene Stallings, the whole his whole life. He used to go to the games. I've got old ticket stubs from
Oh wow.
the '70s, and they're in color, and they look like almost like little pieces out of a comic book or something. There's illustrations and it's really vintage ticket stubs.
Oh
And they're like
cool.
$5 and $7, and uh but uh
Oh, is that you getting a call?
it is. I'll cut that
Oh,
out. Anyway, I didn't know that was going to happen.
I've never seen that before.
I don't know why that happened actually. It's not supposed to do it through here. Anyway, um so you what was your first acting job that you got 10 years ago, you said?
Oh wow. So when I signed with my agent, uh, I actually booked the first thing I auditioned for, and it
Mm.
was those lottery commercials. I don't know if
Yeah,
you have those in Alabama. Yeah.
we don't, but we go to Georgia to play.
Okay. So you get those. So you see the commercials then, I guess, right?
Yeah, I've saw them
Okay.
before.
Yeah. So I was living in Charlotte, so it was a North Carolina education lottery commercial,
Mhm.
and I was auditioning for so the whole idea of the commercial was American Idol. So they had like lookalikes for Paul Simon and or Paula Simon and Randy.
Randy.
And and there were people auditioning to be the next Powerball.
Mm.
And I walk in, or I was auditioning to be a cube. So I'm a cube going in to be a Powerball. And obviously it's supposed to be funny, but it's crazy because it was my first ever audition, other than back in college for stage. Um, First audition. So I'm just happy to be there. And it's an audition about a guy who is auditioning. So it's like meta acting almost. It's so I really just went in happy go lucky, really naive because I'd never auditioned before for TV or film, and they just thought it was just so genuine, I guess, and they cast me, and I was a cube, so I had this huge freaking square that I was in, and I think the pay was $500. Um, and I was just on top of the world. I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing.
Hmm.
Does it get better? Does it get better than this? I'm getting $500 for one day." And
I know
and
that
it,
feeling well.
and it took, I think it took like 3 months because it was a non-union um like
Mhm.
gig.
Yeah.
And now a lot of lottery they do SAG now, so you get paid like in 2 weeks. They have to
Yeah.
pay you in 2 weeks. Whereas non-union, they don't really have to pay you until until they want to pay.
Yeah.
But usually it's like 3 months. And yeah, I got my check 3 months later, and I was just like, man, it doesn't get better than $500 a week or for a day, does it? It did, obviously.
Yeah. Got a little better. Um, you were, I guess the first movie, like big movie that you was in was the one with Tom Cruise, right? Is that right?
So, um, I shot with Tom Cruise, but my stuff never it didn't make it in. Did you did
Oh,
you did you see the movie?
no,
American
I haven't seen it.
So there's a scene, it's based on a true story. In the 70s, Tom Cruise played like as a drug runner, like undercover, I think. But I played IRS agent. So there's a scene around the end of the movie, and they turned it into a montage of him like leaving hotels. And I came to one of the hotels and confronted him like, "Hey, you're being served," kind of thing. And they ended up taking it out, but somehow I'm still in the credits, so I got residuals for it.
Wow.
And my my grandmother, who passed away in October, she
Oh,
saw.
sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, she was getting up there, but she I think she saw the movie, and she was like, "Hey, Kevin, I saw you in that new Tom Cruise movie." I was like, "No, Grandma, I wasn't in it." "No, yeah, you were. I remember hearing your voice." I was like, I watched the movie. I promise you, it wasn't me." So I have a feeling she saw the credits
Yeah.
and she saw me in the credits, but she was thinking about another movie that she had
Yeah.
watched. But yeah, it was great getting to work with Tom Cruise. That was surreal because it's fucking Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
So, but I would say um, the first movie I did that was in theaters and that you actually can see me is the movie Prisoners with uh with Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman and Viola Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at the end of that movie.
Okay.
But the funny thing about that is I was uncredited in that movie, which made no sense because, and I knew before the movie came out, I saw on IMDb that it was uncredited.
Hmm.
So I called SAG and was like, "Hey, does that mean I'm not in the movie?" And they were like, "Probably." And I was like, "Okay, well, I was still gonna watch it, but I was gonna wait till it came out on DVD or something."
Yeah.
And some people started texting me like that had seen it early. They're like, "Hey, you did a great job in the movie Prisoners." I was like, "Wait, what? So I'm in the movie? Okay, well, I guess I got to go watch it." So yeah, and it was a fun little scene with Jake Gyllenhaal at the end. I mean, technically, I had the last line in the movie, so yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
And didn't even get credit for it. Yeah,
I
got credit for
It made no.
something you wasn't.
It made. I had to go through SAG, so it took years to get residuals.
Mm.
Obviously, they can't go back in and put me as a credit in
Yeah,
the
after it's
yeah, but they could put me as a credit on IMDb, but I don't think they ever have. No, well, it's crazy business.
it is a crazy business. The music business is equally as crazy,
Oh,
I would
I can
say.
imagine.
Of course, I haven't experienced it to the level that you have, the entertainment business. Um, no Tom Cruise like freakouts and throwing jugs of water around and cussing the camera guy one and
Oh yeah.
um,
Oh my God. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. That was
oh man,
that was a little crazy. I mean, I at first I was like, well, good. I mean, he needs to be on them about it because I mean, we're in a pandemic. And then I found out that I think they were all wearing masks, but they were too close together at a computer. And I was like, wow, well that maybe I don't know. That's a little much, but he's the producer. I mean, he doesn't want that thing to shut down. So,
yeah.
he's taking all the precautions.
Hadn't he done that like 3 times now or something? Like
That's
had
the
freakouts?
uh that's the only one I know about is on Mission Impossible
Yeah,
recently. I
maybe
know
I'm thinking of somebody else.
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale,
Christian
right?
Bale
Yeah.
got mad at a sound guy like years ago. That was that was
Uh,
insane. Yeah,
man.
that was uncalled for.
Well, that's who knows when somebody's gonna freak out. And then Dennis Quaid did the whole uh, you know, thing, and it worked pretty well a few years ago. It was a thing for Funny or Die. Have you seen that?
I've heard of Funny or Die.
It's
And it
hilarious. It's like to be he's pretending to freak out, but it's shot. I think I think originally somebody filmed it on a cell phone. I mean, it was all staged, but
okay.
people didn't know. And the cell phone video came out on YouTube, and then Jimmy Kimmel and all these people, and it's like, when I think they had Dr. Drew or somebody like trying to figure out, why he's freaking out, and Dennis came on. Everything's like, no, it was just a bit we did for Funny or Die, and then Funny or Die released the whole video.
And he was like, "Gotcha."
It's very tongue in cheek, and it's yeah, but it got a lot of publicity.
Oh, I
So
can imagine.
uh, I think that was their thinking there. But yeah, I don't know. The music business is similar to all this craziness that goes on, and with getting credited or not getting credited, and just all kinds of stuff like that. Some of it's kind of like, how could you miss that?
You mean
Really?
like if you help write a song and somehow they're
Oh no,
not credited, that kind of thing?
that a long time ago that really used to happen. Um, it, I mean, it's like somebody would write a song, and then if nobody knew who they were, then somebody else recorded the song, and then all of a sudden somebody's name that nobody's ever heard of, but it's not the writer of the song, is on the
Mhm.
credits. So they're getting the checks and everything, and
Wow,
it's that happened like back in the 50s even. But
man.
it still happens. I mean,
So it's like a ghost credit, like they had nothing to do with the song, but
yeah,
they were a bigger name, so it looks better.
yeah,
That's
yeah. And then of
wow.
course you get stolen ideas, as you know, uh, TV script writers do.
Mhm.
They get their ideas stolen and copied and everything else. But it's I don't know. It's just a crazy business, man. And uh, you're real fortunate to have got on the show. Working with Jason. Jason's very involved with Ozark, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's his production company is part of it. Aggregate Films. So he works with MRC and he's an executive producer. He's directed on it. Yeah, he's a big part of it for sure.
I feel like he's a very intense, in tune guy.
I
You know.
wouldn't say he's in tune. I wouldn't say intense though. He's easy. He's like an actor's director for sure because
Hmm.
he's been on the other side of the camera, of course.
Right.
Um, so he lets you play within the sandbox, so to
Hmm.
speak. But he has like a, when we shoot a scene, like he has a vision, and he'll direct you, and then he'll let you play within that world.
Yeah,
To let you do your thing. But yeah, he's great.
he is, man. He's got that natural thing. Everything he's acting in, kind of like Tom Selleck, Sam Elliott, some guys like that. Like you know who that is, and
Yeah,
he can play a good guy or a bad guy, and he's still his mannerisms and everything is still himself.
yeah.
Uh,
Jason, he said in interviews that he likes to play the everyman.
yeah,
Like he likes to find the nuances in the everyman kind of deal. Yeah, and he's
uh,
great at it.
that definitely makes sense. Um, yeah, he's been around a long time.
Yeah, yeah. That just shows you like the longevity in a career, and the fact that back in like during Silver Spoons and
Hogan family and all that.
Hogan family, and he had this break at one point, probably a decade maybe, if not more, where I mean people knew who he was, but he just wasn't,
Hmm.
he wasn't getting a ton of roles. Like I
Yeah,
remember when he was in the movie with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston, The Breakup.
yeah,
Like that was kind of his he was coming back into,
yeah.
like, on the scene, because I think that was around the same time as Arrested Development, maybe, um, which also was a big thing that brought him back. But yeah, I mean, you gotta be really, really, because that could drive you crazy having to wait that long to, for your next big thing. I mean,
Yeah.
and he says it in interviews. He's like, "This is not a job for everybody. It's if he could do anything else, he said he would have." But I mean, even if I could do something else, I probably would. I mean, I love doing what I do. So
Yeah. Uh, any advice or wisdom he's shared with you about anything, life or acting or uh, money or anything?
we've never really gotten to like chat. But I mean, like if you listen to some of the like his podcast Smart Lists, he's got some good advice there. I mean, I guess an example on set, it's more of like just a set example, but like the scene, I don't know, this wouldn't be advice like career advice. It'd be like a funny story about how I was delivering a line wrong. I don't know, would that be, you want to hear that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You remember the scene where I'm at the funeral home in season 1,
Yes.
and I'm with Wendy. So the line is that's what was the line? Oh my god. Isn't that so mom, or that's so mom? It was something like that, and I was delivering it like directly to Wendy, like that's that's so that's so mom, like, and he was, and we cut, and he was like, "Hey, everything was great, but I don't, that one line just not, I don't know, there's something with that one line." I was like, "Yeah, I know, I don't understand, it just feels weird." And he goes, "Well, can I give you a line read?" Which you normally, that's like a no-no in to line read somebody, but I was like, "No, yeah, totally fine. Give me," because I can't, for some reason, for the life of me, I cannot figure this line out. And he's like, "Well, think about it like like you're talking to yourself, like that's so mom." I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, makes more okay, that makes more sense than a direct line to Wendy, like that's so mom." It just,
Yeah.
like, it made more sense, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
So,
And it made all the difference in the world when you see it now, probably, you
yeah.
know, because it's like a natural. Yeah. I get that.
I felt like a goofball. I was like, "How did I not realize
Well,
But that was the way the line was supposed to be delivered usually.
it's just probably, the obvious. Sometimes obvious is hard to reach or hard to see.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
it's songwriting's like that, man. It's like simple songs are hard to write, you
yeah,
know?
I don't know how I mean, I songwriting is I don't know how people do it. I do remember I think it was back in college. I think it was an English course I took, and we were talking about paradoxical statements and how and somebody said, "Yeah, that's in a lot of songs." And I never thought about that, but now when I listen to songs, you hear a paradoxical statement because it's I don't know, there's something poetic about it. Like it's like uh I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but there's so many like in songs where it's just a contradictory, like it's a contradictory statement
Mhm.
because it fits like it's poetic.
Yeah.
If I could think of one off the top of my head, I would. Damn.
Well,
I'm sure you have a lot though.
Willie Nelson was great at that. Uh, he did his song "The Last Thing I Needed First Thing This Morning." That kind of thing. I mean, in country music, it was done a lot and still is. Uh, I think it works. I like Chris Christopherson, his songwriting. If you've never listened to really his some of his catalog, it's amazing.
Okay. I mean, I'm a huge like Tyler Childers,
Oh yeah, man, he's
Chris
good too.
Stapleton.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Stapleton.
I always I'm always like Echo, play Chris Stapleton radio.
Yeah,
And
man.
and I got into it like when I was Uber driving. I was just trying to find something to listen to. So I turned on the Avett Brothers Pandora, which I really like, and Chris Stapleton popped up, and then the Steel Drivers. I was like, wait a minute, that sounds a lot like Chris Stapleton
Yeah,
because I didn't know that he had a band called the Steel Drivers before he went solo.
yeah.
Like I don't know a ton about music, so I learned more as I started listening. But yeah,
You're
but
did I read somewhere that your mom was a country singer?
yep, yep. She sang when she was like in like middle school, junior high,
Oh, really?
uh, back in Malden, South Carolina. So she had a band, and she was the lead singer, and she sang with Loretta Lynn, like when she would come through town, and obviously back in like the 50s and like they didn't have like huge stadiums,
Yeah.
so Loretta Lynn would play like outside to a like a small crowd, and but she was Loretta Lynn. I mean, that's just insane to think about now, but
Oh, yeah.
there was definitely some kind of like just very southern rooted kind of feel to that. But yeah, she got to open up for Loretta Lynn when she was younger. I remember my grandmother telling me that my mom's name is Renee, and she would go into the back, to see if how Loretta was doing, and and Loretta would go, "Hey," she'd call her Rune. She'd be like, "Rune, go out there and sing a song for those folks for me. Open up for me." So,
That's
um,
nice.
yeah. So it's amazing. Yeah, but the thing is, like, so she was supposed to be on the Grand Ole Opry
Mm.
with her band, and this is why she kind of got out of it because she felt pretty hurt by it, but she was getting most of the attention because she was the cute lead singer,
Mhm.
young girl, and their manager um, was the dad of the lead guitar or drummer, one or the other, and he thought that she was stealing the spotlight.
Mm.
So when they got the call that they were going to be on the Grand Ole Opry, they didn't tell my mom. They told so they got there and when they were like, "Hey, where's your little girl singer?" and they told them that she was sick.
Wow.
So and she found that out, and I I'll tell you, my grandpa was not happy. Like he was pretty angry about that. So um, yeah. And then Loretta Lynn, she said, "Hey, when you graduate high school, come out to Nashville, and you know, and I'll hook you up." Obviously, that never happened, but yeah. Or who knows? Maybe I wouldn't even be here if that had happened.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that really be proud of alone,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah, that would, I can understand how that left a bad taste in her mouth, and that was probably a good thing that she decided not to pursue it, because that's the music business right there.
yeah. That's pretty. I mean, even for young kids, that's pretty cutthroat. Even if they didn't have anything to, I mean, who knows? That might have been the dad saying, "Hey, she's still in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Well, we're not gonna let that happen." But I mean, hey, I did get her something for Christmas. It was very it was something unorthodox because I couldn't think of what to get her. So I got her a signed um, like album cover that's framed that Loretta Lynn signed.
Oh,
So she was
that's
really happy
cool.
to see that. And I would love to, if I had any way to get where they could meet up at some point again, because I'm sure she would remember her. I mean,
Yeah, she probably would.
she played for her when she came through town a number of times. I don't see why she would remember
They toured and stuff. I mean, the band.
her. Oh, my mom's band.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a local kind of thing, like just in South Carolina, maybe. They went to like different like maybe what were they called? Like
Festivals,
fest
fairs, things,
fairs. Yeah, fairs. They did
county
those.
fairs.
Hmm.
What was their band name?
Oh man, I can't remember. I don't even know if they had a name. Uh they had
They
to have
might,
a name. I just can't think of it.
some didn't, so they might not have. Some,
I
there was back then, some bands didn't have a name. They were, the guy announcing them would just make something up. It's
I
crazy.
know
Yes.
I know one of my mom's songs. I don't know if it might have been solo without the band, but it was called "When Mama Slapped Papa Last Night." I'll always remember that title. But that was a song that I remember hearing when I was growing up sometimes.
Oh man. Well, that's really cool. That's I I I, I hate it for her, because that's, unfortunately, that's the business. It really is.
Yeah.
Business
She-
was harder on women too. Uh,
Yeah,
and
same thing in the acting world for sure. Yeah.
and women are smarter than a lot of these egotistical men, and I don't think men know how to handle that. They don't like being, somebody being smarter than them. A lot of men don't. Nowadays it's better, but man, back then
Yeah.
there was a lot of that.
Mm.
Um, but it's one of them things, I guess. You I also read that you either, did you visit the set, or did you have an appearance on A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood?
Oh yeah. So Tom Hanks wasn't there. Like he hadn't started shooting yet. This was like I think maybe the first week of shooting, and I was like a reporter who was I was receiving a journalism award, and so it was the uh, I was audition the audition was something else than what I got cast as. Um, so there weren't any lines. So when I receive like I come up and I get the award, and then it's just improv, and I'm just up there like, I'd like to thank so and so, and thanks for giving me this award, yada yada yada. Uh, and obviously, if you've seen the movie, I didn't make I didn't make it in the movie.
Yeah.
But again, I got credited in that movie.
Hmm.
So I mean, you can see me because I'm in the front, like when they show a shot of the stage,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm at the front on the right hand side, and that's about it. Yeah.
Well, hey, you got the credit
Yeah, I had a nice
for
little
whatever reason.
I had a nice little goatee or whatever because it was supposed to be set in like the 80s or something. And yeah, It was
Oh
it
man.
was fun getting to be in Pittsburgh too.
Yeah. That was a great movie, wasn't it?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I
I
enjoyed it.
was when we found out, me and my wife found out about that movie, because I have a lot of respect for Fred Rogers and what he did, with his life. And when we found out about that movie and that Tom Hanks was playing him, I said, "Well, he'll be great, but I don't know if he can get the timing." But man, he got it.
Yeah,
He had
yeah,
that timing down, just slow paced, and
yeah. Because Fred Rogers was very like it was. I'm sure it was by design. Like it's
yeah,
it. But yeah, he was such a good person. Like just a good person. Like, and I remember seeing videos of I think where he was receiving an award, maybe an Emmy, and the guy it was a kid that was on his show who had like I think he was in a wheelchair and
yeah,
he presented the award to him. Not a dry eye in that house. There's no way.
yeah.
Like
I
that's
remember that.
just and then the movie, can't help but tear up in some of those on some of those parts for sure.
Yeah, it was a great movie. I think that the world needed. You know,
Oh yeah.
I don't think it got the recognition that it deserved to get because it was outshadowed by other hit movies at the time.
Yeah.
But man, it was a great movie. Uh,
I think he was nominated for a number of awards for his performance. I mean, how can you
yeah,
not know? I mean,
right.
the awards love biopics, and especially if you know you knock them out of the park and you got somebody like Tom Hanks behind it. So yeah, he didn't win any, but he got nominated for sure.
Yeah. Well, Ozark. I was hoping we'd get 2 more years, but I guess we're getting only one more. Uh, how did you find out that was going to be the last season?
um wow. Well, I mean, I stay in touch with our showrunner, so he let me know maybe a couple weeks prior to the big reveal of like, hey, season 4 is coming back. Even though we knew a season 4 was coming, I just didn't
Yeah,
know that it was going to be the last season,
yeah,
and how close it came to not even like you know season 4 not happening. And I think it was because of you know the pandemic and like having to shoot and not knowing what was going to happen in the business at that time. Um, but yeah, so we're going to get it's going to be the last season, but we're going to get 14 episodes. So, episodes 1 through 7 will be like part 1, I think, and then 8 to 14 is part 2, I think. But I want to say that the first part's going to come out and then you're not going to have to wait like a year or something for the second part. I would think maybe like a month or so they'll drop the second half because that would just freak people the fuck out if they just like,
yeah,
wait a minute, 7 episodes, that's it.
yeah.
So I don't think they're gonna do that. They're not gonna make people wait like a year.
I hope not, because it feels like we've already waited 5
I know.
for.
we were supposed to start shooting in August. If it wasn't if there was if the pandemic didn't happen, like that was the plan to shoot in August.
hmm
So not too big of a difference. Like we started in mid-November, I mean, a couple months starting a couple months earlier, the show would definitely be coming out earlier.
hmm
So I think October, November this year. I always say like a year, from when we start shooting is a good way to kind of gauge when the next season's going to drop.
Have you seen any of the final episodes yet?
Um, I've got I've got the first block of episodes, um,
Cool.
and I kind of know what I'm doing in the second half. So
hmm
I got some good stuff, and other good things happen. Like I know some stuff, but I definitely don't want to ruin it for people because it's going to be. I'll
Oh
just say
no.
we're going out with a bang.
Yeah,
You'll say
I wasn't gonna
great.
ask you. I wasn't gonna ask you. I just wondered how happy you were with the final product. If you was able to check them
From
out.
from what I've read so far, I think it's going to be dynamite. And we just got nominated for, a lot of Golden Globes a couple days ago, and then we got nominated for, best ensemble at the SAG Awards yesterday, which was great because this is my first time actually getting a nomination, because you have to be in more than half of the episodes for
Mm,
the season. And unfortunately, when we got nominated for season 2, I wasn't. I was only in 4 episodes, so I didn't get part of the ensemble. Season 3, I was in 6 episodes, so I made the cut. So I was like, man, if we get nominated, I'm actually gonna get to see
yeah,
my name on the ensemble list, and it was pretty surreal. It was pretty cool to see all the hard work paying off. 10 plus years and getting to see that.
yeah. All well deserved, man.
Thanks,
I
man.
hope they run the table and win every award possible. I mean, it's just a great show, and uh, man, enjoyed talking to you and
You
talking
too.
a little music business, a little entertainment business, and good luck on that pilot too, man. We're holding out for you.
Oh, thanks, man.
Keep
I'll
me
let you
updated on
know.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you know what I hear. I should hear something one way or the other in like the next week or so.
Oh,
So
awesome. Yeah, definitely shoot me a text or something. Let me know.
we'll do.
All right. This is Kevin L. Johnson we've been talking to, and you've been watching and listening to Picking It Out, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.